The kingdom fungi has 5 main classification groups called divisions. One of these divisions has been set aside just for lichens. Even though a lichen is composed of 2 distinct organisms living together, it behaves as if it were a single organism, so much so that biologists decided to classify them as such. Lichens are a very diverse division and consist of about 25,000 different species. The dry bodies of the colorful lichens that encrust rocky surfaces contain the smallest amount of water of any living things. Typical lichens are very environmentally sensitive. They thrive only in clean, unpolluted air. This is why they are hard to find in certain large cities. Lichens are composed of millions of cells of either algae or photosynthetic bacteria that are embedded inside a delicate network of threads of mutualistic fungi. The 2 organisms live in what is called a symbiotic relationship, which is a relationship that benefits each of them. The fungi derives nourishment from the algae or bacteria, and the algae or bacteria obtain water from and are protected by the fungi. The second division of the kingdom fungi are called the zygote fungi. The most familiar members of this group are the molds that grow on bread. However, most members of this division are soil-dwelling decomposers. All zygote fungi are characterized by their tough, thick-walled fertilized eggs called zygospores, seen here, that can survive very extreme environmental conditions. The third division of the kingdom fungi are the sac fungi, such as the orange cup fungi seen here. The characteristics shared by the sac fungi is that they all make spore-containing sacs like the one seen here. The microscopic unicellular organisms called yeasts are also sac fungi. They live in large groups of cells called colonies. Yeasts have served human beings for thousands of years by making bread dough rise and by helping to make wine and beer. Yeasts do these things because they are able to carry out a special chemical reaction called fermentation, which they employ to obtain usable energy from sugar. Here we see yeasts in action, fermenting grape juice into wine. Fermentation is a very active process, and as the sugar is absorbed into their cells, it is rapidly converted into alcohol and carbon dioxide gas, which is seen here bubbling to the surface of the liquid. The fourth division of the kingdom fungi are known as the imperfect fungi. This is an assortment of fungi that are only capable of reproducing asexually. An important example from this division are the penicillin fungi seen growing here. This organism secretes penicillin, an antibiotic drug that disrupts the formation of the cell walls of certain bacteria, who are also decomposers with whom they compete for food. Thus, penicillin fungi have a big advantage over bacteria in terms of survival because they can chemically destroy their bacterial enemies and have all the food for themselves. The fifth and final division of the kingdom fungi are the club fungi. These are familiar organisms such as gilled mushrooms, shelf fungi, and puffballs. Several varieties of club fungi are raised commercially for use in cooking, but others are poisonous and can be very deadly. All of the fungi in this division possess microscopic club-shaped structures called basidia, where spores are produced. In fact, the gills of mushrooms are completely covered with these spore-making structures.